that percentage is like 0.01 that you make it.
What was playing for the NFL like?
It was fun, but very, very stressful. I cried, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you could wake up and they'll tell you, hey, listen, the GM wants to meet you, and you know it's over.
Damn.
I had lost a relationship after I had lost my pro football career, basically.
Did you ever feel like anxious before games?
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
Hey guys, it's post-production Liam here. Real quick, I just want to say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. It's genuinely shocking how fast things are moving, and I'm really appreciative of that. And then also, a lot of our returning viewers are not actually subscribed. So if you want to check if you're subscribed and you happen to not be, I would really appreciate it if you did. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Love you guys and enjoy the episode.
All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. Today, I am joined by Anthony Montalvo. He is an ex-UCF football player, and he played in the NFL? Yeah. What is your experience with football?
Overall,
Brief history.
Brief history. Obviously, high school, Walter L. Sickles here in Tampa. Played there. I went to UCF for 6 years, and then I was undrafted to the Dolphins. Got cut by them August 6th. Went to Seattle, and then the Commanders, and then the Predators, just for short periods of time for 2023.
Yeah, and what are you up to now?
Right now, I'm just trying to find work.
Okay.
So football is kind of like dying out just a little bit. Obviously, you got new college kids coming out.
Right.
A bunch of the UCF players are coming out from over there, so they have a new batch that they can look into. So they're really not going to look into somebody who went from 297 to like 230, in weight, and then has been out for at least a year or two.
What was your role either at UCF or at other teams in football? What did you do?
So, I mean, for me, I was just a defensive tackle, but in my role, it was just, kind of being like, I guess not the team leader, but, the guy that kind of leads by example.
What makes a great defensive tackle? Is it like your build or like kind of courage, or what would you say the qualities would be?
I think it's a mixture of kind of both, right? So defensive tackles, we're obviously the bigger guys on the field. We're going against bigger guys, the offensive linemen. So you have to have courage to, headbutt people.
Right.
To be a great defensive tackle, you just have to know how to use your body and how to, use your opponent's body against them.
So as someone who's super tall, do you have any recommendations on how I can maybe like grow a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you can do, some stretching.
Stretching?
I mean, for growth and height, there's nothing I can really give you. You're gonna have to talk to God about that one,
Have you ever used steroids?
No.
Would you recommend using steroids for me?
Absolutely not.
No?
Keep it natural.
Okay.
Keep it natural.
I'm really self-conscious about my height, man.
I mean, I know there's bone displacement that you can do surgery for that.
I've thought about that. Breaking my legs?
Yeah. Again, like that's
I don't know if it's worth it. Did you break your legs to get to that height?
A couple times, yeah.
Living as a student football player, how do people view you differently?
View us differently. I feel like sometimes we're put on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Just depending on the person. I know sometimes we kind of get a bad rep. Obviously being a student athlete, everybody thinks we get things for free and that we just kind of we're just there taking up money or whatever it is. But I think it just kind of, I guess, depends on the person. I would have to ask you that question. Like, how do you view, student athletes in a sense?
Honestly, I don't really pay attention to sports in general. I'm not a big sports guy. I've gone to a few football games and it's really fun. However, I do view you guys as like celebrities, to be honest. I mean micro celebrities. So it feels harder to relate to people when I'm just seeing them on a field separated from everyone else. But having a one-on-one conversation, it feels like a lot more human,
Yeah, we're not anything too crazy in a sense. And then having the lifestyle on UCF and then, a regular lifestyle is definitely different just because of the, the discipline and time. But everybody's kind of, at least in my eyes, everybody's kind of the same. A
lot of our viewers at home are UCF students. A lot of them watch the games. And Gus is a really prevalent talking point right now. I feel like our season has not been the best, and they're catching a lot of flack, and people are blaming Gus. I know you probably got pretty close to him. What did Gus smell like?
I wasn't that close to him to smell him like that. I know he takes care of himself very well.
Good hygiene?
Great hygiene. Okay. I know that for a fact. He would come in, dripped out, especially on game days.
Dripped out?
Yeah, especially on game days. I don't know if you saw him on game days. Full suit, like nice shoes. I mean, he had, everything.
So he was smelling fresh.
I would say he have to smell fresh. If he didn't smell fresh, then, me and him going to have a talk. But,
okay. It's funny. What was he kind of like?
Gus is a very old school type of person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like when one play doesn't work, he's gonna keep doing that play until it works. You know what I mean? We kind of learned that as as a defense, going against him during fall camp and then spring ball and stuff like that. But he's a great guy. I love Gus. I love all the coaching staff that's there. Whether people disagree or not, it's hard to, it's like playing chess, with, especially as a head coach, you're on the limelight right there. Everybody's going to go to you first. Sometimes this may not be the coaches. It may be a player he missed or he dropped the ball. Can't really blame the coach for that, for the player, just not having, the right hands or just the right steps. But, overall, I think he's a good guy. I think he just, again, it's the Big 12. It's a new conference for them. You know what I mean? So just a whole new kind of realm that they have to go through.
So I read that you were like a walk-on. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was like?
It's a little different, a little more stressful in a sense, just because as a walk-on, you're there paying to play football in a sense. And they kind of use you as not a stepping stool, but you're a practice dummy, yes, but also they use your GPA. So you have to have a higher GPA than the scholarship guys to bring up the average of the whole football team. Do
they usually have bad GPAs?
You'll have a good handful that have GPAs that it's not even that they're not smart. It's just
not.
Yeah, they don't go to school.
Yeah.
They want to play football and they just think that football is the.
I mean, I'm sure it's a huge time commitment as well if you actually want to get good.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge time commitment, but also at the same time, like obviously the NFL is not going to last for long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the average is 3 years. You know what I mean? That's if you make it, and that percentage is like 0.01 that you make it. So you start off with like because they did a statistic when we first joined the NFL, when you sign with a team, they have a presentation. And I think it was like 15,000 college students play. And then after that, it drops down to like 6,000 seniors stay. And then after that, it drops down to like, 300 people go to the combine, 265 get drafted. The rest are undrafted free agents, only like 15 or 20 make it.
Damn.
So it just keeps dwindling down.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Let me check this camera.
There you go.
This is what I'm talking about.
Have you played any sports though?
Honestly, well, when I was like really young, I would play. I mean, my parents forced me to play basketball and soccer and baseball, and nothing really stuck. I'm just not an athletic person. Like I like working out.
Yeah.
I don't now because I mean, look at me, but
I mean, you look good. I mean,
thank you, bro. Thank you. Hey, you look good. I appreciate that.
No problem.
But yeah, it's just not really my thing. Also, in baseball, I got like scared of getting hit by the ball.
They hurt.
I don't like to get hurt, or I don't like being in places where I'm like, I have the possibility of getting hurt. So I just kind of avoided that,
That's a lot of fucking running. Excuse me, I don't mean to curse.
Hey, you can curse as much as you want. This is not a family friend. Yeah, you're all good. When it came to getting more involved in the team from being a walk-on, did you face any like form of like imposter syndrome? Maybe like you were kind of excluded from the main group?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was excluded in the sense of like, when it came to the meals and dinner and stuff like that, like obviously they would go eat and then I would go back to my dorm room and I have to cook.
Right.
And that was just like, dealing with the coaches. The players though, like all the players, they welcomed me in as soon as I got there. Like they didn't even think I was a walk-on. They thought I was a scholarship guy when I got there. So they didn't think twice about me. They welcomed me in and stuff like that. Like I had McLean, I had AJ, Joey, like all these guys that were seniors at the time just came in and they just started talking to me. They treated me as like one of their, younger brothers.
Dealing with that kind of imposter syndrome, for the lack of better words, other than the coaches, was there anything specifically that you did that maybe helped you get past that and like kind of maybe become more a part of the team?
Probably just opening up, because I was definitely very shy. Like when I first got there.
I'm a very shy person. I have the worst social anxiety.
I am the same way. I don't like big groups. I'm like, I keep to myself most of the time. Like the only reason I'm like talkative now is just because over the years I've done so many interviews and stuff like that that I can just hold conversations now. But when I first got there, I only knew like one person there. And then you shower together. That to me was so weird.
Wait, you showered together?
Yes, because you have
naked, bro?
Yeah. So like, I'm being serious. Everything's just open. So as a freshman coming in, that was to me was like, I'm gonna go home and shower. Like I don't feel comfortable.
That would make me really uncomfortable.
Exactly. Like it made me really uncomfortable. But it got to a point now where it was like, you just get so tired after practice, you just don't care about nobody. Yeah. Like you just want to get in the shower, go back to your room, and that's it.
Any awkward moments from that?
Yeah. There's been plenty of awkward moments when I was like in the locker room and stuff like that. Like we would, after games, we would win you know, and we all start videotaping each other, just kind of like, not like that, but wait, not like that, hold on. That
Yo,
sounded
pause.
Talking about like us like dancing and stuff like that, just
Right.
getting hyped after the game.
Yeah.
But some people just tired and they're changing in the background. And I didn't know this at the time. My friend, I had posted on Instagram, or my Snapchat, I had posted, basically it was like the last day of fall camp, so we're all hyped, like we get to go in the season. And I had posted us just kind of like dancing and just joking around and like wrestling. And he messaged me on Snapchat. He goes, yo, I'm in the background. And I was like, what do you mean? I check and it's him completely naked in the
my
background.
Lord.
Bro, I felt so embarrassed.
How many people saw it?
I think it was, at that time it was only like 20 people because I didn't have a big Snapchat. So
Okay, that's so funny.
I was happy that it was only like 20 people, but
Yeah.
I'm like, he was in the way like far back and I didn't notice it at all.
Dude, that's hilarious.
I felt so bad. Like, I felt so bad, bro. Yeah.
I mean, damn. You were talking about your anxiety, at least as a freshman. Did you ever feel like anxious before games?
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
I didn't. I feel like the games, like I always was, even through my senior years, I was always anxious before the games because you never know what's gonna happen, right? For me, it was after that first hit where it kind of, I don't know if it was just brain damage, whatever it may be, that like kind of where I got the first hit done, and I was like, I calmed down.
Yeah.
Everything was just kind of like, all right, I've been here before. This is nothing new.
Like I said, I'm pretty anxious myself. When I'm in those situations, I mean, obviously not football because I don't do that shit. But
Yeah.
I mean, even filming these podcasts, I get really nervous. But the thing that helps me is like eating. Do you have like maybe a game day snack or something? Like, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Oh shoot.
If you had to choose.
Is this like before a game or during a game? Because during a game would be like.
Do you eat during a game?
Yeah, like halftime. Like
Okay, what do you eat at halftime?
Oh, halftime is anything. Like I'm starving at halftime.
Just put calories in?
Oh, just anything. Like anything that they had. Like it was bananas, because they would always do like these like trays that they had. So it'd be like, you know, fruits. So it'd be apples, oranges, peanut butter and jellies was like the biggest thing.
Peanut butter jelly?
Yeah,
I can fuck up a peanut butter jelly.
Exactly.
Dude, when I was going to the gym consistently, I had the worst problem with not being able to bulk up because I'm the lightest eater. I would when I got really committed to it, this was like a year ago, I was eating like 5 peanut butter jellies a day.
Damn, bro.
I just could not. But yeah.
I mean, I did that when I was in high school. So like the way I gained weight was horrible at the time. But
Yeah.
I would do peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, was like 3 during lunch.
Right.
And then when I got home from practice, my dad would always buy these Walmart donuts, the 12 dozen ones.
Ooh, I was also eating those. Yes, bro. And they're cheap. They're cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He would buy those and he would just give me a jar of peanut butter. So I would sit there and just throw the peanut butter on the donuts and just eat that with like a gallon of milk. Bro, I felt so nasty afterwards.
Did you not throw up from that?
There was been a couple times, like when I first started, I would eat like 3 donuts and my dad's like, no, you got to eat more.
Yeah.
And I'm like force feeding myself and I would throw up sometimes, but I got used to it, you know, obviously after doing it for so many days that I just didn't throw up anymore.
Yeah. So UCF, we're not the best, right? We have a kind of spotty track record, quite a few losses.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back from a loss?
Well, for football-wise, after a loss for them, I really think it's just more of a morale thing. So just trying to do something for the team.
And what did it feel like after losing a game?
It sucks. Absolutely sucks. Like my last game at UCF, we lost. I cried. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Like it was more sad that
imagine.
it was more sad that I was, you know, leaving everybody. You know, I left all like the guys that I consider brothers. You know, Ricky Barber, Lee Hunter, you know, Matt Alexander, all those guys that I was really close to and stuff like that. It was sad. But you know what I mean? Like it's a new chapter in life. But after losing like a big game, it's more of like
Leaving on a loss.
Yeah, leaving on a loss was bad. But losing a game in general, it pisses me off just because I hate losing. But at the same time, it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's a loss. You know what I mean? There's plenty more to come.
Yeah, I feel very similarly about video games.
Really?
If I lose a game right before I go to bed, I can't
Yeah,
end it on
yeah,
a
exactly.
loss. Gotta run another one.
That's why I don't play anymore.
Speaking of bouncing back, do you have any tips for bouncing back from a relationship?
Oh, shit, damn. That hits a little too deep. That's a little too deep. Therapy. Honestly. Therapy. And the reason I say it hits a little too deep is just because I had lost a relationship after I had lost my pro football career, basically. Now, that wasn't the cause of it, but it was just very close in time. And I went to therapy for mine. So I think therapy would definitely help.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of men and a lot of people say just kind of go, whether sleep around or just go, you know, distract yourself. I think you kind of have to sit in your emotions just a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm sorry to bring that up.
No, you don't know, you're good, you're good.
I had a very similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't after I lost my NFL contract, but I was just bad.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm glad you went to therapy. Most guys won't go to therapy no more.
Yeah. After UCF, you got signed to the NFL. What was playing for the NFL like?
It was fun. Honestly, It was fun. Like, it was a great experience, but very, very stressful.
Yeah.
Very stressful. Just because they're very, at least in the Dolphins, they're very technical. The facilities are 10 times better than college.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
You know, like, we were getting fed, you know, sushi, like, boats and stuff like
that's
that.
fire.
Like, it was great. You know, the coaches are going to take their job very seriously because they're getting paid, you know, and if their you know, livelihood is on you.
Right.
So, you know, things that were said or things that were done were, you know, one, to make you better, and then also to keep their job.
Right.
So it's a business.
Just a lot more on the line.
Yeah, a lot more online. I just didn't like the business portion of it.
Right.
Just because everything was business. In college, it was like you knew you're staying on the team just because you were there.
Yeah.
The NFL, you don't know where you're going to be the next morning. You know, like, you could wake up and they'll tell you, hey, listen, the GM wants to meet you, and that you know it's over.
Right.
You know, you're either getting traded, let go, or something happened that,
Yeah.
you know, he needs to talk to you. So it's a little different.
Off-topic question. Are you a fan of women?
Am I a fan of women?
Yeah.
That is going to get me canceled if I answer that wrong. Yes, I am a fan of women. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite female NFL player?
Damn. I don't know if any. I don't know if any.
That's fair. There aren't any.
Yeah, exactly. I wish they would be, though. That'd be kind of cool.
Hypothetical. Mm-hmm. If you were playing in a game and on the enemy team, directly across from you, there was a woman, would you still tackle her?
Yes.
To the same extent, like same power?
Yes.
Damn.
She has a helmet and shoulder pads on. She's protected.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to let you score just because you're a female.
Have you ever had a concussion?
Not that I know of.
No?
Not that I know of.
Okay. You said you gave your friend a concussion, right?
Yeah.
How bad was that?
That was bad. We were on punt, and basically the returner was coming straight at me, and I didn't see my partner because I was running straight at the returner. Mm-hmm. He was coming across to make the tackle, and the returner was coming towards me. So I went to go dive to hit the returner head on. He dove in front of me, and I just ran him over.
Damn.
And it was like helmet to helmet, head bounced off the ground. And I didn't know, like, I was perfectly fine. So I got up pissed off because I missed a tackle. And then I hear him kind of groaning over there, and I look down, and I'm like, oh, no way. And then he comes to me, like, after that, I didn't see him the whole game.
Yeah.
He comes to me the next day during our meetings, and he has the sunglasses on. And when you have those sunglasses on, everybody knows you have a concussion. And he's like, you know, you gave me a concussion, right? And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Damn.
Like, he missed 2 or 3 games because of that.
Was there any beef between you guys?
No, there was no beef between us. Like, he was fine with it. Like, it was an honest mistake. Like, we just literally just ran into each other. Now I got beef from my coach from it because he was the starting gunner, you know.
Yeah.
So they had to replace him. But other than that, there was nothing much.
Interesting. Speaking of beef, is there any beef within the team at all?
They can be.
Yeah?
There can be. Yeah. Like, I know. Let me not say that. Let me not say that. But
wait.
no, like the way we handled beef, it depends on the locker room. Mm-hmm. I know my freshman year, and I hope this doesn't get nobody in trouble, but we would have boxing gloves, and they would put on the protective helmet, and you had beef, you would handle it in the middle of the UCF circle. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's deep cut.
That's what they used to do.
Wait, that was in your freshman year?
Yeah. It wasn't like, you know, a true boxing match. It was literally like 30 seconds, let your beef out, you know, handle your business, and then that was it. You know what I mean? And it was only like once or twice that I really saw it. But according to the other older guys, apparently it did happen a lot because of, you know, when they were losing at the time. But,
right.
You know, I wasn't there to see anything, but I only saw the twice that it happened. So, and it's a locker room. You know what I mean? You got a bunch of testosterone guys in there, you know? Like, there's going to be beef, especially when you know, on the field, like a bunch of fights on the field, they come back to the locker room, and they're just going to want to fight in the locker room, too.
Yeah, gotcha. Going back to concussions, I mean, I have, and I'm sure you have as well, a little bit of bad memories, some trauma about whatever happened in life. Would you recommend concussions as a way to cope and remove some of those bad memories?
Damn. I want to say yes, just to be the joke of it, but also no, because I feel like somebody's going to take that very seriously. You're just going to get like a complaint.
Viewers at home, give yourself a concussion.
Yeah, just start headbutting the walls.
It'll get better. Speaking of memories, just to wrap things up, what is your favorite memory, both playing at UCF and then football in general?
My favorite memory is earning my scholarship.
Yeah.
You know, playing it was with Josh Heupel, and he had gave me a scholarship midway through the season. And it was just the best thing about it was how like all my teammates celebrated with me.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, he got a scholarship, they gave a round of applause. Like there's a video on YouTube and they're just pouring water on me, throwing me around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was like my favorite memory. My other favorite memory was getting my first sack my freshman year.
Your first what?
My first sack.
What is a sack?
It's when you tackle the quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and it was against my old high school quarterback that I blocked for. It was Chris Oladokin. He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
Nice.
So that was like, it was more of like I got my first sack, but it was also like I got a sack against him. Me and him were friends and stuff like that. I got yelled at because when I got the sack, I helped him up. And my coach was like, "Don't fucking do that." I'm like, "Bro, that's my boy. Like, I can't do that to him."
Disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I really appreciate you for coming on, man.
I appreciate you, man.
You're a real one. Any advice for viewers at home? Any sign-off words? Advice for life or football?
For life, I'll say for football, just don't put your identity in football. You know, just because that's what I did, and I kind of fell apart after you know the NFL didn't work out. Like that was who I was and who I always been. Now I'm trying to put my identity in Christ.
Yeah.
Just kind of putting my identity back in myself and who I am, and I'm still finding my way and stuff like that. And the same thing with life. Just don't put your identity in like one person or thing. And if you're gonna do one thing, it'll be Christ. So.
All right. You heard it here first, guys. Great advice. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.